So you guys moving into the 95 shop? Is that what I'm hearing?
We will be moving into the 95 shop after the season.
And the 70s?
Hold on, we'll take control of the place after the season. It's not, I haven't already put my feet up on Bob's desk yet.
Sure.
It's just.
Do y'all plan on having a full-time driver in that car?
We do plan on having one or two full-time drivers.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, Junior, you guys make these decisions all the time too. I mean, I don't think I think that Ross Chastain is the best driver available, period, at the moment. And I wish that Mr. H would take a run at him on the 48. I wish Chip would put him in the 42. And as an agency guy, I'm just like, man, I wish that guy would do that. As a team owner, I'm just like, well, if these guys aren't smart enough to put him in this car, I hope we get them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's Ross or whether it's Justin Haley, I mean, it's like, those are two guys that I mean, if nothing else, they stand on the gas, right? And I think we're going to, need to do that. And there's probably a couple others, but, I don't want to, now as in the club, I don't want to betray any, contracts or anything like that. I want those guys to, when you're talking about drivers, those are two that are top of our list.
Can you speak to how Spire or anyone can afford to buy a charter? Charters are multi-million dollar investments. Is it a bulk purchase? Is it something that's pieced together? Is it incentive based? What is it? How does it work?
I will tell you this. On the 78 charter, when Barney said he would help us, I think we were, as you know, there's many definitions of help. We were hoping in a sense that he would carry the note, right? Or we were hoping that we were going, there was, some reduction in price.
Help pay for it,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, hey, man, can we just have it? So, man, we tried selling it. I mean, sorry. But no, you have to pay for them, right? And I think that's part of that is, you, obviously as what we do, right? I mean, we make commissions, right? So everybody can see stickers on cars and go around in circles, know that those are our sponsors, and that's how we pay it, right? We also have, somehow a good relationship with our bank that trusts us, right? And they deserve a plug. I mean, Aquesta, right? But it's just like, but that's how you have to have the means to do it, whether you're donating blood to get the money or whether you're borrowing it, you gotta have it.
What do you get when you buy a charter, though? Like other than the obvious, the properties and stuff. I mean, is there a certificate of member that comes with it that you hang on your wall and like charter member? What is it? Come in a nice little package in an envelope? I mean, what are we looking at here?
It's like a phone book, man. You know what I mean? Like remember those? But it's just like I think it's it's just like a bunch of papers.
Yeah.
Right? You sign your charter agreement. And you go through the car wash, right? I mean, it's just like trying to buy the Yankees, although it's less, right? I mean, you give them your financials, you give them, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you go through a process. It wasn't as easy as I thought. It's funny on the hockey side. It's the same thing. They just they get into your stuff, and you're like, man.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I mean, we had never been through it before, right? So, I mean, for us, it was a little jarring, but I mean, I think we obviously passed the test.
Hey, real quick, you had mentioned about the Gen 7 car being sort of the motivation from the beginning, but now the Gen 7 car, I mean, the goalposts have moved.
That's right. That's right.
So what is that doing to you?
So I think what we did, well, look, it wasn't, NASCAR didn't unilaterally wake up one day and said we're moving the Gen 7 to
understood.
22, right? So we had a say, just like every team, we had a vote in how that was going to go, or at least we felt like we had a vote.
Yeah.
Right. So what is it? So for us anyway, why we did this now, maybe if that's what you're, it's like, why would you do it now if the goalposts are moving? It's
right.
Like,
if they're delaying it.
It's kind of, again, it's controlling our own destiny. There's going to be a lot of variables going into Gen 7. And for us, right, and I guess this is for us globally, it was, if we can do this now, it's just one, I mean, it sounds so bad to say, like it's one less headache that we have going into the 22 season, right? We're not chasing charters. We're not, chasing a building. For us, it's as much the building as it is anything else, right? We can now put all of our companies under one roof and, at least save fuel, right? So but yeah, it moves. And I think next year, it's a bridge year. I mean, look, we got to buy cars, right? Like we gotta go run a race team next year. I don't think the fans are going to care that Gen 7s and 22 are not. We have to be on the track. So we have to essentially buy cars twice. You know what I mean? But we want to have our people in place. We want to have, a notebook full of information. And let's face it, we're going to screw up, and we're going to screw up a lot. So perhaps next year is just the best year to just get it out of the way.
Is there anything we're forgetting?
The only thing I could think of is, could you take us behind the curtain a little? Because I know, there's been some chatter. Are you guys going to be some sort of secret satellite team for a bigger organization? Can you take us behind the curtain of what that was like, getting the charter, talking with NASCAR, and that sort of deal?
So you guys just heard the tone. I think it was Junior that asked, essentially, like, what the hell were you guys doing, right? I mean, that's essentially the question, right? Like, what was that? And so imagine us walking into Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell, and imagine their tone, because they had just seen us like this, right? As everybody else in the industry had. They just, they're agents, right? And they bring, whether it's drivers or sponsors or whatever. I think everybody had an idea what we did, but they're just like, what the hell are these two? What are they up to?
Yeah, what are they up to?
So, essentially what in that meeting with Phelps is when he said, the first thing they wanted to know is that because of our relationship with Mr. H, that we were not going to be the fifth Hendrick team, right? And because just like I think you asked, like, how do you guys have the means? I mean, of course they know us, right? But they're just like, where the hell are these guys getting the money? Certainly, Mr. H, somebody is bankrolling this thing, right? And so that was the first part. They just wanted to make sure that we weren't the fifth JGR team or the fifth Hendrick team, right? So, and that's again those words, and look, that's where I think we have taken that privacy. Like that has been almost like a mantra of ours, right? I don't think our clients want us on the papers. Like, besides, I think Mike, when I spotted for Junior and I did this, it's not like I'm out doing tons of interviews, or doing those things anymore, right? So, but you almost get like you're apologizing. Like, it's like, man, we're apologizing that we have a charter, right? We're apologizing that we won Daytona, right? I mean, it's like,
I'm sorry.
It's like, we're sorry we won. You know what I mean? We're sorry we have this charter. So I think I think it was Phelps, and it was essentially Phelps and Chip were very, very instrumental. Where Phelps was, because we were going to name it, I just see like the Dirty Mo sign there. We were going to name it Dirty Mo Racing, right? You know what I mean? Like we were going to do something cool, right? And he was just like, no, call it Spire. Like you guys get out of the shadows, right? And so that's why he was kind of talking about how you run on Sundays is going to matter, because that's how you're going to be known. Nobody cares of the deals you guys do,
right?
So, and it was Chip, during the rain delay at Daytona, right? It's like we knew what was. I mean, look, it was a hostage situation that took 7 hours because there's just no way we're going to win this race, right? But in the middle of it, we said, Chip calls, and I said, man, I'm sorry, because remember they were leading. Remember that him and Landon, they were running 1-2 and they pitted. We don't have anything to lose, right? So he's just like, don't apologize. Yeah. We all had the same opportunities. We all had the same opportunities to pit, or not pit, right? And it's kind of like a metaphor for this, right? It's just like, we got the 95. I don't think it was just because we put more money on the table. I think it's Bob saw what we're trying to do, right? We bought the 78 because we had tried to sell it to everybody. So it's just always kind of, that's what I'm saying. Like there's always going to be skepticism, right? Mm-hmm. But I think we have to stop apologizing for like what we're, kind of doing, right? And so
this brings up a question for me. If you said, okay, you took the 78, you took the 78 charter and tried to sell it to everybody.
That's right.
And then you're telling me that, but you're also telling me that charter values are going up.
That's right.
So why were you not able to sell that 78? What's the answer to that if the values are going up? If the charters,
I'm saying the values are going, like 95 charter, the charter values are going up. You know what I mean?
Since
so like
just then,
Just in a couple
just in
years?
a couple years, the values changed.
yeah.
How
yeah.
how did that happen? I'm completely clueless. Tell me how it happened.
I mean, I mean, some of that's the marketing, right? Some of that is people want to have it, right? I wish I had an answer for that, right? I would also say that maybe that 78 charter maybe had, how do I say this the right way? There were perhaps some strings attached, right? Because I think, obviously JGR and Furniture Row had an alliance, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how, I think you can.
I understand what you're
trying to say, right? So
people had it. But depending upon what you take on, in addition to the charter itself, that determines its value. And with this 95, it was basically the cleanest slate.
The 95 for us was it was just like, don't go out of business tomorrow, Junior. But it was just like if you went out of business down the street here, right?
Yep.
And we went in there and we bought a charter, your stuff, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so we got a building,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the 95 was clean for us, where perhaps others may have been just trying to part it out.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So, we weren't in the trying to part it out business. We were just like, hey, let's rock. Okay.
Is that what?
On the 7th?
Is that why Bob was so intrigued?
It's got to be.
I mean, you don't think it's our good looks? I mean,
It is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a deal's a deal, right? You go into those things, you don't know exactly what they're looking for. We did a vision. I'm just trying to give you a variable is like, hey, things are different. You don't really know, right? What I had said earlier in the call when it's like, maybe we were, a little put off by the criticism. We just didn't understand on the 78 is we literally went to everybody in the sport and said, here, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, we did it over here. And then after we bought it and then we win a race, everybody's just like, what the hell are those guys doing?
Yeah. Jerks.
You know what I mean?
Coming here,
Yeah,
stunting our game. And then you're like, you had an opportunity to buy this thing. We were the ones trying to sell it.
And it was beachfront property. Remember, it was I don't think I'm talking out of school here, right? It was a number 2 or number 3 charter in the sport, right? So we tried, but I am telling, it is absolutely true that from the fall of 18 till the moment I'm talking to you, charter values are increasing, right? Like there is a real market for these, and there are several groups trying to obtain them, both inside the sport and outside the sport. I'm saying that unequivocally, that's true.